Hello there. My name is David Shively. I'm a broker and analyst here at Comstock Investments, and I'm here to talk to you today about our AgriPlus program. Just a little bit about me ahead of time here. Before serving as a broker and analyst, I have a background in agriculture growing up on the farm, working some in that regard, as well as a grain merchandiser with one of the larger U.S. grain corporations. So what we're going to go ahead and do here is dive right into our AgriPlus program. So AgriPlus managed bushels. What is it? Well, as the American farmer is probably the best in the world at doing what they do, namely growing crops. That's what we do, what we're good at. What the problem that comes in here is that marketing grain is a different beast. Most guys they don't enjoy that part of it. They want to grow the crop. Marketing it is an entirely different aspect, and one that they tend not to care for or enjoy, or a lot of times be quite good at. So what we're going to do is we'll come in and we'll provide a service and market your grain for you. One kind of thing that is very unique about our program, as opposed to some of the other people in this particular line of work, is that we customize everything about this program to fit you and your operation with your local area and what makes sense. You tend not to get that level of customization in these programs. As far as how we go about this, there will be both paper and cash trades. We'll execute and take care of all the paper stuff through the Comstock Investments brokerage. But on the cash side, we'll call you telling you when we need execution. We'll give you dates to sell and windows to sell the crop in. But we will be up to you to execute those sales. Now, if that's responsibility you just assume hand off as well, we can do that. We'll just have to have a conversation first. All right. So, what do we need to do AgriPlus? We need a lot of background information just to allow us to adapt this program to really fit you and your operation. To personalize it, we need a little bit of info. So, the easiest place to start is the storage situation. Is this going to be at home in grain bins? Is it going to be in a commercial elevator paying storage? What are the plans? And allow us to build around it from there. Delivery time and radius. Are there certain times of year when you don't have time to be driving the truck and delivery? Are you a cattleman who's calving in March and so you can't be away from the farm? Do you need to have all your grain bins empty ahead of spring planting because you're going to be busy all summer? Whatever the restrictions might be, you tell us. We'll work around it, and we'll make sure that you don't have to deliver grain in the windows that don't work for you. Same for distance. Are you willing to haul anywhere in 25 miles? Is it 50? Is it 5? I don't know. That's up to you, but you tell us the restrictions. We'll work it out from there. The other restriction that we have to keep in mind is cash flow limitations. We all know that farming is a capital intensive business. It takes a lot of money to put a crop out, a lot of money to buy equipment, buy a farm. So guys need their money by certain times of year to make payments. If that is the case, just let us know when the crop needs to be moved by. If your crop has to be moved by the middle of February to make the payment to John Deere, just let us know, and we'll make sure that we have the cash side done at that point, so you can your cash flow situation works out. And then, of course, break even. Now, this isn't not the most important piece to us because it's certainly not. We don't shoot to just hit break even, but it just gives us a starting point to build out from and an idea of where you're at and what we should try to accomplish. How does this program work? Well, we're going to take all the information that you give us. And we're going to add to it the information we have about the overall market and what we're seeing there. And we're going to combine that with some localized information on your basis and some trends in that regard. And we're going to develop a customized plan for you and your operation. So first step, once we have this plan, we'll establish some target levels for cash sales. These targets are not set in stone. They will adapt as the market does, but it just gives us a starting point and kind of some goals to work through. From there, we're going to create something that I've called put together, and I call the AgriPlus carry value matrix. What we do there is we plug in your storage costs, your interest costs, any timing or marketing restrictions you may have, whatever the carry is, and what we expect basis to do. And I use all this to optimize the timing of our cash sales. Maybe we're making the sale, but for delivery 2 months from now. The delivery schedule and timing is all going to come from this AgriPlus matrix. All numbers, no emotion, makes it a very efficient tool. As these target prices that we set are met, we'll make our cash sales. The exact timing and delivery of these sales, as we said, will be determined by the carry value matrix. One important thing is we won't want to exceed 70% of your APH in cash sales ahead of harvest. It's just a rule. You know, some guys don't mind getting aggressive. Some guys would never go near 70. We set 70 as our cap. We won't sell above that because we don't want you to have that exposure. Then when it's time for a cash sale, we'll call you, tell you the delivery window we're looking at, and allow you to make the sale. If that execution, as I said earlier, is something you'd rather not be involved in and just have us tell you about, we can do it that way. There will just be a nominal charge. Okay, a little bit more about how it works, specifically on the paper side. So we're going to use a variety of strategies: futures, options, spreads, a little bit of everything. And the idea is to put a price floor in for you at a profitable level. Once we have a floor in, making sure that you're at least break even. And of course, all this is contingent upon what the market gives us, right? If you're a high cost producer, paying a lot of cash rent, and your break even's $4 a bushel on corn, and the market never gets above 380, then I don't see how we're going to make it. We're probably not going to get you break even, but we're going to take what you give us and what the market allows, and from there we're going to build it out. We'll get the price floor in, then we'll look to add extra pieces to bring home a little more contribution, one piece at a time. And of course, our goal here, we're going to do probably a fair amount of trading with this, but the goal there is just to extend your profits, keep bringing home a little more contribution at a time, and get the return per bushel higher and higher and higher. That's our goal. Now on the paper, we can continue this beyond the cash sales throughout the term of the marketing year. And then, of course, at the end of the year, we're going to bring you a statement, a year-end statement, where we lay out your realized price per bushel, what the cash contribution was, what the paper contribution was, what our fees were. Have any active positions and their status, any grain that as of yet has not been sold. Then we're going to tag all this back to what your harvest price was and your seasonal average price, allowing us to show what we accomplished for you and what our contribution was, what our worth was to you. So what do we require to do AgriPlus in this regard? Well, we ask that as a new AgriPlus client, you commit to the greater of either 20% of your APH or 10,000 bushels of corn, 5,000 bushels of soybeans. If you would like to go to higher levels, we would certainly encourage that, and there will be discounts to apply. But the reason we said it at only 20% in these fairly small numbers is to allow you to spend a couple years getting comfortable with us, what we're doing, and to allow us to prove our worth to you. Going forward from there, the costs. This is the part you've been waiting for, right? How much is this going to cost me? Well, we think it's pretty fair, and then we've compared it to some others in the same line of work. We're coming in on the lower end, but corn 7 cents a bushel is what we'll charge. Soybeans 13 cents a bushel, and then of course on top of this, for the paper side, there'd be just your typical Comstock Investments brokerage fees, which are not quite an industry standard, I guess, but it's a very common number. $70 for both sides of a future, 70 a round turn, and 60 up front on an option. Then, of course, as we said before, discounts to apply with higher country commitments. So then at the end of the day, what are we bringing to you? What does AgriPlus accomplish? Well, our goal and what we think we'll accomplish with this is we're going to get you profitable returns. We're going to get you higher returns per bushel and make your farming operation more efficient and profitable as a result. Of course, every marketing year is different, but our goal is always going to be to bring you home as much as we can. The big important key here is we're taking emotion all out of the equation. As a farmer, a producer, you spent all year sweating and toiling for this crop. You poured everything into it. Guys they get emotional about their crop and their marketing. They get numbers in their head that may or may not be realistic. They make emotional decisions, which, as we all know, are not the best business decisions. So to avoid that, we'll take all emotion out of it. And as most of my ex-girlfriends would tell you, I have no emotions anyway, or at least that's what they say. So it should be good in that regard. You don't have to worry about us being overly committed and chasing a bad trade or running down a rabbit hole because of some feelings that aren't necessarily reflective of the market. And then, of course, we personalize everything, which is something that we haven't seen anybody else in this line do. Going to build it all out around your basis, your delivery schedule, your cash flow, what your storage looks like, any other variable you can throw at it, all built in, we'll work around it. So then at the end of the day, contact us. If this is something you're interested in, you'd like to talk a little more about it, think you'd like to do it, just have some questions, let us know. Call Comstock, talk to myself, any of the other brokers will be able to help you. Our number is 712-933-9400 or toll free at 1-800-242-5014. If you prefer email, that's fine. davids@comstock.com is my direct line. And that's all I have for you today. I hope this was informational and useful to you. And if you look forward to hearing your call. Thank you. Goodbye.